At Truliant, we're with you at every milestone, making it easier for you to shine. So you can saddle up each morning for more than a paycheck. Have the support to expand your horizon, the space to grow your family, and your brightest dreams never have to fade. At Truliant, we help you shine. That's brighter banking. Piedmont Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to the Greater Conversations podcast. I'm Deetra Miller, the Director of Member Relations and Engagement at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. We'll use this platform to showcase our local businesses, our community, and their stories. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I am super excited to have with us today Mr. Jamarkus Swinson. Jamarkus is a business development officer and branch manager for Piedmont Federal here in Winston-Salem. Good morning, Jamarkus. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing? I'm doing fantastic.
Doing well. You know, this is a great morning. We've conversated, is that a word?
I don't think that's a word.
We have conversed. There you go. Me and my Southern bellness. We've conversed in email, and we've talked about how laughter is just a great way to start the day. And I'm looking at your smiling face, and I'm telling you that is a great way to start the day. So thank you so much for being here with us. And you have a couple of your teammates here with us at the table this morning. So I would love for you two to introduce yourselves to the audience.
Well, good morning. I'm Ginger Salt. I'm with Piedmont Federal as well, work closely with Jamarkus, and have been a past podcaster on this very network.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, and I'm Ned Erickson. I'm the Director of Community Impact at Piedmont Federal, and also Ginger and I are members of the fan club of Jamarkus. So super excited to be here to support him today.
Thank you so much for being here to support Jamarkus, and his fan club is actually growing, and we'll talk about some of the reasons why, Jamarkus. But before we get into that, I would love for you to share with everyone listening what you do at Piedmont Federal and why you decided to join the Piedmont Federal team.
Wow. What do I do? Well, first, I'm a branch manager at our downtown location. And we're located inside the Roar building. That's 633 North Liberty Street. So I have one-on-one consultations with people in the community. I talk about business development, talk about how they can help build their credit and establish a relationship with our bank. And I decided to join Piedmont Federal right after college. I was introduced to David Barksdale by way of my chancellor and by way of the business school at North Carolina A&T, where I graduated from. And David Barksdale, who's our CEO currently, he generated a program. He produced a GPS program, which is a navigational guide to creating well-rounded bankers. And I was part of the inaugural class, me and a close friend of mine, Cameron Berry. We actually went through that program. We went through every area of banking. And now here we are. Cameron was in the mortgage department. I went to commercial and then expanded my skills and scope to management, and now I'm a branch manager at our downtown location.
I love that. And you have one of the most unique locations since it's located at Roar. I've been there, and it's amazing. Yeah. And, you know, even though that's an amazing space, I don't necessarily want to talk about the space, but everyone should go visit at least once. Even if you bank somewhere else, go to the Piedmont Federal Roar location and visit Jamarkus and his team there. I want to also share with everyone listening how amazing Jamarkus actually is. And he is an emerging leader with Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. He's part of that program. He was also nominated as one of the young professionals in Winston-Salem as a 40 under 40 leader. More than likely, he will probably win that, but the nomination is there. And he's just doing so much for the community. And I've heard so many good things about how you interact with small businesses. One of the things we do at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. is a program called the Minority Business Enterprise Grant. We're on our 4th year. Actually, the window just opened for that. And some of our past grant winners have actually worked with Jamarkus, and they have given such good feedback. Do you mind sharing just a little bit of what you do for those grant winners or any small business owner?
Yeah, and I guess it's going to lead into the uniqueness of Piedmont Federal. We don't have external pressure from like shareholders forcing us to generate numbers. So again, it goes into having a one-on-one approach with each client. No two deals are going to be the same. No two client businesses are going to be the same. Everyone is unique. So it allows us to have a tailored experience with each client. So I'm able to have that one-on-one with them and ask them 1,001 questions about their business, just to learn as much as I can, because at Piedmont Federal, we actually search for a yes. We look for ways to make deals work. If we can, we will. And I think that's what I do for all businesses or anyone that I run across. Yeah.
I love that. Looking for ways to say yes.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So I want to turn to Ginger for a second, because you're our podcast guest senior, I guess. No, what's a better way to put that, Tim? Since she's been a podcast guest before.
She's a veteran.
There you go.
Veteran.
There you go.
I'm a senior veteran.
Not a senior citizen veteran, but just a veteran for the show. So I want you to just share with us some of the things that you have seen over the past, let's say, pre-pandemic to now, that has changed with Piedmont Federal that's really making it exciting for the team, because you've been with Piedmont Federal for a while now.
Yeah, I've been with Piedmont Federal for 10 years, but the last 3 or 4 years have just been so exciting. Jamarkus came to us through a program, as he mentioned, the GPS program, and we have hired amazing young folks to come and work with us and spread the Piedmont message. We had to make some adjustments during the pandemic, and I think that really helped us see how to better serve all the people in our community. We learned a lot more about technology and
Absolutely.
remote working and meeting clients where they are, and that has continued post-pandemic. We try to make it easy for folks, because we realized during the pandemic we had to shift and pivot pretty quickly as conditions changed constantly, and so that's carried forth. We've added additional services. Jamarkus mentioned business banking, commercial banking. We've expanded that. We have added the Director of Community Impact, who is awesome, who is working on a very strong program where we have a social investment strategy. So we are involved in housing, bridging the digital divide, people, place, and planet. So we have a very definite strategy. And Ned may want to expand on that.
Especially the 3 Ps there, people, place, and planet. I love that.
Yeah.
Talk about that, Ned.
Well, in my experience, there's lots of opportunities to give back to the community. And for me, it was really important coming on staff just a little less than a year ago to identify, okay, what is Piedmont Federal all about? Like, what is the DNA of this place? And it really are those 3 things. They're about people, they're about the community. They live in the team members are from this community. They fund things in this community, and they use those funds to fund other things in this community. So it really is all about relationship. It's all about people.
Absolutely.
And secondarily, we are about place. We started our very first act as a bank was to create a mortgage. And so we have been about housing in this community for 120 years. And so we want to be the thought leader in that space. We want to learn, if you poll what is the biggest challenge in this community, affordable housing, attainable housing, workforce housing is the number one issue. And so we have a strategic opportunity to really be a thought leader in that space. And so place makes sense for us. And then we are about this world and this planet. David Barksdale, our CEO, is a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, and we've always been mindful of the place that we have been located. And so it just happens that they all start with P, so it's easy to remember. But
I like that.
We use that as a strategic framework in the decisions we make in terms of what we do our philanthropy, how we sponsor events, where we volunteer.
Absolutely.
We want to be engaged in. I mean, it really, if you think about it, everyone should be about people, place, and planet. But it helps align us in a way that really makes sense and stretches our investments a little bit farther than if we just spread them thin, just responding to things. We want to be more thoughtful.
I love that you're so strategic in that. And you're right, housing is a big issue here. I know that for our economic development team, as they're recruiting businesses to the area, or they're working on businesses to remain in the area, housing comes up because when you have all these employees, they have to have somewhere to live, right?
Right.
And for the folks that are already here, I know that we've got a great economic development team also in Forsyth County, besides ours at Greater Winston-Salem, that works really hard. I know Hassani Mitchell has talked about that on our podcast before, how they're working to help create affordable housing in this community. So I'm really glad to hear what you guys are doing at Piedmont Federal to help with that as well. Jamarkus, Ned mentioned volunteering. Talk about some of the things that you and your team have done volunteer-wise.
Volunteer-wise, wow, we do quite a bit. I know a lot of my time is spent with the Winston-Salem Street School downtown, and Atkins CDC. We volunteer there quite a lot. And we also volunteer with the Second Harvest Food Bank.
Wow.
Yeah, Senior Services is another place that we are heavily involved with. You know, our focus is a lot of economic mobility there. So these are a few other organizations that we partner with. There are several others. Ginger, what are some more organizations that we partner with? Because I know it's quite a bit.
We do
That
a
was
lot.
a great pass off, by the way.
Well, one great thing we are involved in, as Ned said, we're not just a logo and a donation. We like to physically be involved with every organization that we're a part of. Ned has started this great thing, the Calls of the Month, and we all get to go to different places.
That's right.
Second Harvest, the Humane Society, that one was hugely popular. Everyone wants to go pet puppies. And we have, like you mentioned, Second Harvest.
Second
We
Harvest,
worked
yes.
there. That was a lot of fun. And we are very engaged with Habitat. Again, that goes back to our commitment to housing, as well as, helping them with builds, helping them with financial support. A number of our teammates are on volunteer boards. Shout out to Crosby Scholars. I'm board
Yes.
chair for them. We do a lot of volunteer work for them, as well as financial education classes. Financial literacy is so important, and a lot of us didn't really get that in school.
That's
Exactly.
right. That's why I spend so much time at the street school. I actually love going there every Wednesday. We go and we talk about financial literacy, and we talk about personal development and life after high school. What does it look like going to college and all that other fun stuff.
I love that. I love that. Talk a little bit more about the financial literacy that you offer, not only to high school students, but to adults as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a team member who I enjoy spending time with, Eric Hermanson. So Eric
I know
Hermanson-
that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Eric's a great guy. He's taught me a lot. So Eric is director of Bank at Work, and we actually go to individuals and business owners, and we teach economic financial literacy to their employees, their staffs, and it's free of charge. It's something that we do as a way to give back and spread, again, that economic mobility in the company. Like Ginger mentioned, we're not just like a logo and a donation. No, we actually go sit down, and we have a, again, tailored approach to how we can help you and your employees better understand what finances look like.
I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of the topics, we have some online financial literacy modules where people can go and learn about saving for retirement, buying a home, even navigating difficult events financially, like navigating a divorce or the loss of a loved one. All these different things. And they're nice digestible chunks. You can do them in 10, 15 minutes. But then we also have, as Jamarkus mentioned, on-site financial wellness sessions.
Absolutely.
And they can be completely tailored to the audience. So
Wow.
we gather information up front about what they'd be interested in, and then we will deliver that. And we'll do it in a group setting. And then also Eric schedules office hours where he will sit down one-on-one and provide financial coaching and advice to the impacted staff members at the organization. So it's fantastic. We love it.
That is pretty amazing. You mentioned online modules. Are those available to anyone at no cost to go online and go through those?
Absolutely. You can access them from the Piedmont Federal website, and gosh, there are lots of them too. I mean, paying off student loans. I mean, they're
credit is another one that
Credit.
we focus on really heavy because a lot of people have challenges with their credit. So we have a lot of education around how to fix it, how to resolve it, what goes into your credit, how do you improve your credit. What else Eric talks about? Eric talks about a lot. But those are the main
just
things.
a talker
He's
anyway.
a talker. I enjoy it though, yeah.
But I love that you offer so many opportunities for the community.
Absolutely.
And it's giving back. It's not like you're asking for anything to give. I'm sorry. I just get kind of excited when I know that companies like yours that have been around for so long truly give back to the community. It means a lot, I believe, and it needs to be shouted from the rooftops. And speaking of how long you guys have been in the community, you just celebrated 120 years.
That's
right. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
we are
you.
celebrating all year long.
That's
Oh
right.
my gosh. So, for everyone listening that may not be familiar with Piedmont Federal and the 120-year legacy, can one of you give just a snippet of the history of Piedmont Federal?
Well, I can start with that. Piedmont Federal was founded in 1903, a couple of blocks away. We've had a consistent downtown presence for over 120 years. We've been around through world wars, Great Depression, the Great Recession, pandemic, and we've never lost a penny of our depositors' money. It was founded by a group of businessmen who wanted to pool their money and help draw lots to save for a mortgage. So it was built on the savings and the mortgage. And throughout the years, I think we've remained true to our commitment to the community and helping the members of our community, but we've also expanded, modernized, and grown as our community has grown and diversified. We have too.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, speaking of growth, how large is your workforce at Piedmont Federal?
We have, I believe, 119 teammates,
That's awesome.
which is great.
How many branches?
We have 10 branches and 2 loan production offices. We have multiple offices here in Forsyth County, including Clemens, Kernersville, and then all around Winston-Salem. And then Boone, North Wilkesboro, High Point. And then we have our loan production offices, which are located in the Lake Norman area. I try to get down there any time I can.
Any chance I get.
I wonder why.
and Greensboro, also a nice spot.
Yes, that's fantastic. I love that. Oh, 120 years. That's nothing to shake a stick at for sure.
Yeah.
Jamarkus, I'm curious to know, what is something that would surprise people about you personally?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I think 2 things that I do that you may not expect. One, I am a poet, and I write poetry almost every day.
Really?
Yeah, and also the fun activities that I like to do is every week or weekend, I go to TikTok and Instagram or Facebook, and I look for different recipes and try them out every Saturday.
That's fun. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes I
love
make a
that.
terrible mess and I can't follow the directions, but other times it turns out pretty good.
What time do you want Ned and I over there?
Right.
What has been the most interesting recipe you've tried from TikTok?
Oh, shrimp and grits. I overcooked the grits, which came out terrible. But I did it the second time and it came out really good. Yeah, but
That's
the first time
awesome.
it was horrible. I just know how to cook grits by now from North Carolina, but yeah, it didn't work out according to plan the first time.
Oh my gosh, that's fun.
I recently have mastered
Okay.
from scratch cheddar and chive buttermilk biscuits.
Really?
Chive buttermilk bread. You got to give me the recipe.
Okay,
It's
next
very
podcast
simple.
session.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
some
bring it.
biscuits.
Yeah, I got to come up here.
I actually have a get together this weekend. I think I'm going to make 2 batches to take with me.
I heard he's going to give us his address so we can pull up.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I will certainly send you the recipe. It's
Absolutely.
very simple.
Yeah,
Surprisingly
cool.
simple.
Tim, why is it every podcast we end up talking about food?
Because
Never
that's what
fails.
I talk about. I am the man who ate the town. So
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Shameless plug for Man Who Ate the Town
that's
right
right.
there.
themanwhoatetown.com.
I love it. Well, Jamarkus, Ginger, Ned, thank you so much for being here today. Before we wrap up, is there anything that you want the listening audience to know about Piedmont Federal that we didn't touch on?
Yeah, I want them to know that I'm here. I want them to know that Ginger's here. I want them to know that Ned's a part of Piedmont Federal and Eric's a part of Piedmont Federal, and we're actually here to help the community. One other fun fact about Piedmont Federal, we do not, and I found this to be interesting because my introduction to banking was Piedmont Federal, and this is part that's interesting to me. We don't have an 800 number. So when you call Piedmont Federal, you don't get press this button and you'll get to this department, press that button, you'll get to this one. Like within 3 rings, you'll actually have a human being on the line talking to you and asking you questions and directing you to where you need to be at. And
Wow.
I always thought that was interesting because you can be on the phone waiting for minutes to, I think the longest I've ever waited online was like 45 minutes just to talk to one person. But at Piedmont Federal, we don't have an 800 number. You get someone right away, you know. Although we want people to call our bank and say, hey, you guys are doing a great job. When they call, they typically have a problem that they want resolved right away. So we eliminated, well, I don't think we ever had an 800 number, no?
No, we don't have
yeah.
one of those phone trees. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
never have.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
it's just one way
amazing.
we want to stay in contact with our clients and really have that, again, you call us and we'll answer approach to whatever your financial situation may be.
I love that. So people focused.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. What is Piedmont's website address for folks listening?
Oh, www.piedmontfederal.bank.
Perfect. And you guys are on social media as well?
We are on social media. We do have
You
LinkedIn
cooking on
pres-
TikTok?
Not yet. Not yet. We should do a segment on how to be financially responsible because prices of places, they're getting up there.
We've
But
got the regular ones like Facebook, Twitter,
Yep.
Instagram, LinkedIn,
Okay.
and you might find a few videos on YouTube.
Perfect. That's awesome. Well, you guys, thank you again so much for being here. Jamarkus, I'm rooting for you.
I
Hopefully
appreciate
you
you.
are going to win that 40 under 40
I got my
award. I
fingers
can't wait.
crossed.
So we hope to see that soon published in the news. And Ginger and Ned, so nice for you guys to be here. Ned, congratulations on being a part of this team. I hope you're around for a really long time to come.
Thank you. Thank
And
you so much.
You're welcome. And for everyone listening, until next time. We know you enjoyed this podcast today, so join us for the next episode of Greater Conversations. By the way, you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to visit our website at Winston-Salem.com. The views and opinions stated in this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our sponsors, distributors, or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. or your toast.